remember in Hollywood, you fell upwards. And that sucks for a lot of y'all, because a lot of y'all are still clinging on to this idea that your brand that you loved, not yours, because that's the problem, right? It's not yours. It doesn't belong to the fans, and the people that actually are in control of these properties don't have much passion in it, and they have their own individual agendas, usually just for a career advancement. Not all the time is it for social justice. But some of y'all still clinging on to that stuff and thinking that, well, that it can get turned around. But that's not what happens. Instead, you fail upwards. And I'm going to show y'all like some stuff here that is going to be hilarious. There was something that came out, y'all remember? It was a big bait and switch. There was a race change in there, and there was a person that was killed off who is the show is literally basically named after Masters of the Universe. And we remember there was a big powwow, a lot of big back and forth, a lot of divisive stuff. Consumers, of course, consumed it. And other people were like, what the fuck, Kevin Smith? You are a dickhead for doing what you did. Well, guess what? Guess what? It has now been announced that he's not only returning to run it into the ground some more, but he is returning as the head honcho in being the executive producer. And this was announced yesterday, or the day before I am covering this. It was during Netflix Geek Week. Kevin Smith has been rewarded for slapping y'all in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? He says, Kevin Smith is returning as executive producer of Master of the Universe Revolution, a new animated He-Man production that looks to be the sequels to the 2021's Master of the Universe Revelation. Billed as an all-new story in the battle for eternity, Revolution will once pit He-Man and his allies against the nefarious Skeletor, while picking up right where the previous series left off. The poster for the new project can be seen below. And here you see you got a little Skeletor right there. It says Master of the Universe. I mean, I guess it's all right. Revolution. We quite enjoyed Master of the Universe Revelation, which we describe as a show that takes the opportunity to truly go wild in the universe sandbox with a character who break tired molds and dissolve old conventions. Tired mold. Usually the tired mold to them is what people enjoy. Master of the Universe Revolution, is one of several He-Man projects on the platform, which also includes She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, among other shows. The reveal was part of Netflix Geek Week presentation, which has announcements as the summer of gaming 2022 continues. So you guys now see that Kevin Smith is back at it. I would love to know you guys' thoughts and where you guys are in terms of what you think he's going to fuck up. Like how? Because he is spiteful, right? We do get that. Like he bragged about it. Like when he previously killed off He-Man. Dogs are barking right now. He was like, yeah, I did it. And I did it twice, you son of a bitch. He was basically bragging about it. Well, he was like, and he booked. He's like, what y'all gonna do? I ain't gonna do nothing about it. Just consume media. Consume media. And dogs are howling. They clearly are not a fan. They're not a fan of Kevin Smith being part of He-Man. And I know there's some hardcore He-Man folk out there. And they're like, what the fuck? Because this is the thing. It's one thing for you to be a part of a project that you did and you knocked it out the park. Not even if there were people that disliked it or whatever, but you at least to some degree it was a net positive. I don't think anybody that's looking at this objectively speaking can say that the response to that recent Master Universe bait and switch was like good, like on net. Right? I don't think anybody could say that. They can be like, yeah, that happened, and it was like, okay, you may liked it, and you may be like, I don't know why other people didn't, but you can't say that it was like well received. Like, I don't think anybody can honestly and objectively present that as such. But it doesn't matter how you feel about it. You got to remember, man, Hollywood and everybody within. I know a lot of folks loved Kevin Smith, and they thought, oh, he's part of the regime, but he's one of us. Yeah, he's actually like he's a down to earth nerd, and he's a part of like. No. And we see a lot of this in terms of the example of a person that J.J. Abrams is another person he's brought to mind. That guy's ruined how many franchises, and he keeps getting rewarded. It's quite the spectacle. But that's Hollywood is no longer in. What happened is there was a point in time before bad movies, good movies. Well, the primary thing that Hollywood cared about, it wasn't just making money, though it was just making money. But it was, they felt at least to some degree that they answered to what other people thought, bad or good. Whereas to what they figured out, which was always the case, they may have figured it out late. What they figured out was, well, a lot of people just kind of just consume our shit just because it's there. And it's big budget, it's produced even well sometimes. And they'll eat it. Doesn't matter. Definitely if it's tied to some brand that they know. And so once they figured that out, they realized, well, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We can give people the jobs, whoever we want to give the jobs. Doesn't matter if they're good or not. We're still going to be all right with it. That's why we have to build ourselves a little alternative here. It is the only way. If you want to be great, if you want to somehow combat this retarded shit, then that's what it is that you have to do. Got to build alternatives, and then we got to compete with those alternatives because they're going to keep failing upwards. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and Odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.